The field of social work is important because social workers meet people where they have the most pressing needs. You know, my early memories were of my mom and dad demonstrating concern for others. There was just always an awareness of people who were struggling and people who had less resources than we had, and of opportunities that present themselves to help. You know, that was always a major part of it. What might I do to be of use to other people and the communities I was a part of, make the world better? I was interested in philosophical issues initially, but then I got more and more interested in psychological issues, and particularly mental health, behavioral health as we would call it now. Quest for meaning and purpose and all of that coincide with struggles with depression or anxiety or other kinds of mental health needs. And social work presented itself. I thought, well, I can be interested in these larger questions of life, but also get trained to help people on the ground in really concrete ways. So it sort of brought those larger questions for me down to earth, if you will. When I was a graduate student, I read a book by Tolstoy, and there was a line in that book that said, "The meaning of life is service to humanity." And a light went off for me, and I saw myself and the opportunities in front of me differently. So I'd love to hear from all of you on a couple questions. The first is, what do you appreciate about being a student at the Steve Hicks School?
My field instructor, she's amazing. She's just so helpful in teaching me a lot of practical skills.
For me, leadership is really about creating space or spaces for other people to thrive. When those are created, you can ask questions about, well, what do we do? And in this case, we have a mission to educate people in social work, to prepare professionals for service in the world. The opportunity to be Dean of the Steve Hicks School is a privilege, and one I take very seriously, and one for which I'm very grateful. People who are connected to this school and this work do important things in other people's lives that make a lifelong difference for them and for others. I always had an interest in kind of the intersection of spirituality and mental health needs. But in more recent years, my focus has moved more toward chronic illness. My research interest changed because at the age of 48, I was diagnosed with young-onset Parkinson's disease. I decided I had an opportunity to use that along with my personal experience, which was still new, to maybe offer some perspective that wasn't out there yet so that I could contribute to the broader conversation around chronic illness and patient care, client support, that kind of thing. This understanding of common humanity is something that drives me personally and really draws me to social work. We all have our own stories and we all have our own challenges and hardships. It's part of being human, part of living. And yet, when we share them, we can oftentimes experience this sort of solidarity or shared resilience in ways that maybe we don't envision. Many of our students, when they come here, they have no idea of the options that they will be presented with as social work students and ultimately professional social workers. We teach them how to utilize all of that in ways that can be beneficial in almost any setting that you can imagine. From the corporate boardroom down to the soup kitchen, to do good work, meaningful work, needed work in the world with all kinds of populations, many of which they've never even considered. The best part about being dean is supporting faculty, staff, and students in their own professional growth. My deep hope for the Steve Hicks School is that we will build on the success that we've enjoyed as a leading school of social work in the country and recognize the opportunities to do new work that has an even greater impact on people's lives.